Hello everybody, I'm Katie and this is another review video. This time I'm talking about The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. But first of all, tell me, did you have a lovely Christmas? I hope so. I can't tell you how my Christmas was because at the time that I'm filming this, it is the 17th of December, I think. What date is it today? I don't know. Anyways. It is before Christmas, so I don't know how it went, but how was your Christmas? Please tell me in the comments below, or if you want to, you don't have to. So, let's talk about the book. On the cover it says, "One spy, one dangerous book, one deadly mission." And this is the first book in the series. I believe there are 5 books in the series. When I first read it, funny story, when I first read it, I picked it up in a bookshop, so there was no information. I just looked on the back and thought, hey, this sounds amazing. So I bought it and read it and loved it, but while I've read it, I had no idea that this was a first book in a series. I thought this was a standalone, and when I was like maybe 2/3 in, I was thinking to myself, this is strange. This book raises so many questions and is answering so little of them that this is not a standalone book. So I hopped on the internet and checked, and at the time when I've read it, this was the first in a trilogy, but I think this is now the first book of a 5-book series. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. So yes, this is the first in a series, and I've read it twice at this point, and I loved it both times. I think I loved it even more the second time around because, you guys, my English wasn't that good. So my English is a lot better now and I can appreciate it a lot more. So let's hop into the plot. The Invisible Library is an actual invisible library. It is a library between the worlds. I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. Everything is very wonderfully explained in the story. Not in an annoying way, but you know, so that we can understand it. The Invisible Library is a library in between worlds, and time doesn't exist in the library. So, the library has doors, or you can enter alternate worlds through the library, and you know, people do that. The people, librarians that work there do enter alternate worlds, mainly to get and perceive rare books. And one of these librarians is our protagonist. She's called Irene. We don't really know exactly how old she is. I believe she's in the mid-20s, but you know, since time doesn't exist in the library, she's much older, and she just didn't age, because you don't age when you're in the library. You can stay there forever and study and read and do research, so yeah, we don't really know how old she is. Irene is she's a junior librarian, so she's not very high up in the ranks, but she gets assigned a mission in a chaos-infested world. And that is very dangerous because while the library presents order, fae folk, so fairies and stuff, represent chaos, and order and chaos are kind of, they don't mix very well. They are antagonists. So she gets assigned a mission in a chaos-infested world, and she already thinks that's kind of suspicious, because she gets assigned a new young apprentice to go with her on this mission, and she thinks that is very weird. She thinks, well, something can't be right on this mission. She has to retrieve a specific version of the Grimm's fairy tales, and when she gets to this world, the book is missing. Someone murdered the previous owner and stole the book, and nobody knows who stole it. Also, there are various parties in this world. who want to have the book. One of these parties are the fae folk. Well, the fair folk, the fairies want this book, and also a kind of dubious underground what do you call them? I just forgot the word. A dubious underground association, and also the police is looking for this book to you know, investigate in the murder. Yes, and as if that's not enough already to navigate in between all those parties, because, you know, Irene can't expose the library to strangers or to people in this world. Also, it is set in London, in an alternate London, which is kind of Victorian era, steampunkish kind of London. And yes, but as if that is not enough already, there's also an ancient enemy from the library, an ancient enemy of the library, who is after this book and is very ruthless to get this book. Now, my thoughts on this book, and you can probably already tell, I love it so much. It is wonderful. It does have some problems, but it is wonderful, mainly because I think the plot is so good. The plot is really, really interesting and kind of fast-paced. There are some slower bits, but there's a little bit of action. And I think the plot is really thought out. Well, the whole book is really, you know, you can tell that someone spent a lot of time developing all of these elements of the world and of the characters and of the plot, and I really, really enjoyed that. Also, you know, this book has a very unique mythology, and I think there are a lot of things about this mythology and magic system and stuff that we didn't get in this first book, and at this point when I'm filming this video, I haven't read the second book yet. I will get to it soon, I think tomorrow probably, but yes, I really, really do enjoy the mythology. Also because it makes sense, it is coherent with the plot. There's nothing like, ta-da! Something out of the blue to save the day when there is danger. No, it really, the magic system is coherent in the world and it stays true to itself. And it is very thought through and I love it. Also, I love the writing style. It is very precise language that fits the character because we have Irene is our POV character, and that really fits her character because she uses very precise language. This is very much a detective novel. You can definitely tell how Sherlock Holmes has influenced Genevieve Cogman in this for writing this. Also, Irene's name, of course, I believe she picked it because of Irene Adler from Sherlock Holmes. But you know, on the that is a minus for me. These huge these explanations and, you know, theory buildings can get a little bit long-winded. One thing that I also is that you have to pay attention as a reader. You can't just, you know, read it and forget everything or just, you know, because there are so many details that, you know, seem minor in the beginning but are very important later. And I really, really, really enjoyed Irene's character a lot because she's a lot like me. She uses precise language, she loves precise language. She's very, you know, she watches things and she notices little things like little changes in people and how people talk, and she thinks very logical, and I really enjoy that. She's very intelligent also. She is not dumb. She gets onto things, and but you know, that also drags the action a little bit because she's not someone who just throws herself into battle. She is more the type of person who reasonably thinks about what happens right now and tries to come up with a solution and tries to work out who the people might be who, you know, who are behind all of these things that are happening. But also she clearly struggles at some, she clearly has some moments when she struggles, but overall she bases her actions on logical decisions, and that is what I really, did enjoy. The villain is he's complex enough for a first in a series. I do expect a lot more from the series, and I do expect a little bit of a kind of a conspiracy theory within the library itself. So yeah, we will see about that. There was only really one big minus that I just didn't really enjoy, and that were the chapter endings, because the chapters always end on a cliffhanger, and that is that's a bit annoying, because when it makes it really difficult to put the book down for a day and pick it up in the on the next day and, you know, get into it just like that, because I always had to go back to the last chapter and had to read a little bit of the ending of the last chapter to be like, ah yeah, this is what happened, what is happening, and then go on. So that was a little bit of a minus for me, but overall I really love it. I love this book, and I can highly recommend it to everyone who loves fantasy and, you know, intelligent characters and readings. And this is very much a book about book love and about the love of books, so I do really recommend it. Yes, and I really can't wait to pick up the next book, and you know, the second book is coming out on the 22nd of December, so I'm probably going to read this this winter as well. And yes, so was there anything that I wanted to say? I don't think so. Yes, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a lovely Christmas, and I will see you soon.